Revolutionary greetings, comrades. This week, the Pan-African Parliament elected as its president a traditional leader from Zimbabwe, Chief Charumbira. Chief Fortune Charumbira is also a member of the Zimbabwe National Assembly. He is a Senate. He is the president of the Zimbabwean traditional leaders or Zimbabwean chiefs. We congratulate Chief Charumbira on his election as the president of the Pan-African Parliament. We might not agree with his politics in Zimbabwe. He is a member of the ruling party, ZANU-PF. He is quoted in one article where he was saying all chiefs in Zimbabwe must belong to ZANU-PF. We stand opposed to that. But our political differences in Zimbabwe should not blind us to his new role as the president of the Pan-African Parliament. You will know, comrades, that last year there were problems at the Pan-African Parliament in electing its leadership. The position that Chief Charumbira holds is rotational. So it was time for SADC to elect one of its own to be the president of the institution. So we congratulate Chief Charumbira. The Pan-African Parliament, just like any other parliament across the continent, is not under the control of the working class. It remains a bourgeois parliament. But we cannot stay away or try to influence its work. This is why across the continent, communist and workers' parties seek to influence their own parliaments to advance or to pass bills that are in the interest of the working class. In some countries, we have communist parties or workers' parties that are represented in parliament. In South Africa, the South African Communist Party, though it does not send directly its members into the South African Parliament, they go under the African National Congress. But we cannot say the South African Communist Party or there are no communists in the South African Parliament. The Communist Party of Kenya is taking part in the upcoming elections in Kenya. We wish our comrades well as they campaign in different constituencies across Kenya. In Zambia, the Socialist Party of Zambia participated in the elections, and we know they will participate after 5 years. In Zimbabwe, of course, the Zimbabwe Communist Party does not participate at this stage in elections because we are still very young in terms of numbers and in terms of influence in society, in terms of building political structures. It is our wish that one day we'll have communists in the parliament of Zimbabwe. So, we congratulate Chief Charumbira on his election. As I've said, that we do not agree with his politics in Zimbabwe, but we need to find ways of working with him, if possible, through him influence the work of the Pan-African Parliament. Questions have been asked about the role of the Pan-African Parliament. These are clearly defined in its founding documents. So it is important, therefore, comrades, that while the president of the Pan-African Parliament is under SADC, or the president is from SADC, we need, at least in our region, try to influence its work for the benefit of the working class. Yes, we cannot expect much from the Pan-African Parliament if national parliaments across the continent are underworking. This is why we need to influence these parliaments. As communists, we will not boycott the work of any parliament across the continent, and of course the work of the Pan-African Parliament. What we need to do is to find ways of influencing its work so that the interests of the working class and the poor are put as the main agenda in its work. But of course we know that this is not going to be easy because it is a struggle. There are other forces that have a huge interest in our continent. So it is a struggle. It is not going to be easy. Hence, we need to continue with the fight. Ultimately, we wish and we are struggling for a socialist Africa. But again, socialism will not just come like manna in heaven. It requires us to embark on serious revolutionary work. This, of course, means that we must strengthen Africa Left, build Africa Left, so that these national institutions are under the direct control of the workers and peasants. In the case of Zimbabwe, and of course, like in many countries across the continent, we need to build our national democratic economies. We need to build economies that are free from imperialist influence. We need to build national economies that will benefit the people across the continent. Yes, we seek partnership with others, but we have a duty as citizens of Africa to build our own economies. It is in this regard that we seek, of course, to influence the Pan-African Parliament. So we congratulate Chief Charumbira. We know that other comrades, mainly from Zimbabwe, will think that we are wrong in sending out this congratulatory message. We are not. It is the correct thing to do because Pan-African Parliament is a critical institution. Yes, as I've said, it needs to undergo transformation. So we cannot just abandon Pan-African Parliament. The current conditions require us to find ways of influencing our members of parliaments in our different countries, who are members of the Pan-African Parliament. We need in our different countries to ensure that those that get elected in their respective countries are those that understand or are in the forefront in the struggle of the working class and peasants, so that we have comrades drawn from the leftist tradition into the Pan-African Parliament. If we do not have strong communist and workers' parties in our different countries, we'll have liberals getting elected into our national parliaments across the continent. It is them that will then be elected into the Pan-African Parliament. So if we want to see a transformed Pan-African Parliament, the work starts in our different countries where we need to elect comrades that are guided by our own philosophy, our own ideology. Comrades that understand the struggle of the working class, but not only understand, but comrades that are struggling for socialism. These are the comrades that we must elect in our different countries. But we cannot just elect them from nowhere. It means we need to build strong leftist political formations, that is to say, communist workers' parties in our different countries. Parties that will have a critical mass support to an extent that when an election is held in different countries, comrades get elected. It is these comrades that some of them will then be elected to be members of the Pan-African Parliament. Under the current conditions, we have to congratulate Chief Charumbira and find ways of influencing the work of the Pan-African Parliament. Please share your views on what you think of the Pan-African Parliament. Do you follow its work? Do you know why it was created? Please share your views in the comment section. I am Mabuto Nicholas Mapena. Please circulate this video to contacts. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Amandla, comrades.